Hello, you beautiful, outstanding, sexy people. This is Zach Couples from ZachCouples.com, and I'm bringing you another video review of a continuing education class that I attended called Intro to Hand Therapy, taught by Patricia Roholt. The lady for her website's Clinical Specialty Education. It's in the blog, so you should go ahead and check it out. But I attended this class for a couple reasons. One, I don't know this as well as I do some other areas, and I don't see as much of it as I do compared to other areas until I've gotten to this spot that I'm working at currently, where it's a rural area and you just have to be much more well-versed in multiple different conditions. You know, I've seen individuals who've had strokes, I've done cardiac rehab, I've done the gamut of things, so it's been a very worthwhile experience. But I wanted to help my peeps with hand complaints or hand surgeries better. And so that led me to Patricia's class. And in terms of how it's structured, she's got a 2-day seminar for this intro class. Day 1 consists of learning the anatomy, learning evaluation, and learning some treatment stuff and pathologies. Day 2 is a little bit more treatment, splinting, and then specific healing times and such that you may encounter with a potential hand repair or hand injury of some sort. So it really provides you a broad understanding of all things related to the hand. In terms of the manual, this is it. It's pretty much a book. It's definitely has some good things. One thing I didn't like was that I had to print it out ahead of time. I've noticed more and more people are doing that. I think it's just nice to have a physical copy of these things. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I know if I ever do a 2-day or anything like that, or when I do a 2-day, I should say, because I'm doing one in next September, there will be a printed copy of this because I think it's important to write, take notes, and all of these things. But the manual overall is pretty solid. There's some really good splinting sections in here. I like the anatomy side of things. She has some pretty solid drawings. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a pretty solid piece of work. Seems like some of this is kind of photocopied, you know, and not in terms of like these were older slides. And, you know, they may have been copied electronically in some way, shape, or form. But that doesn't mean that just because they're old that they're not relevant or important. So in terms of, I've listed out the class structure. What do I think you need to do to prepare for this class effectively? I really like Patricia's hand anatomy and hand evaluation online classes that she has on her website. I think those are great. They really help me better understand the extensor mechanism of the hand, the pulley system, why differential tendon gliding is important, why we splint like this for the hand, why that's a good position to ensure that your hand stays healthy after some type of injury. So I think those are great preparatory materials to utilize before you go into this class. Now, in terms of my likes and dislikes about it, so what did I like? I thought the hand anatomy section was spectacular. Again, it's very similar to what it is online, but it's just nice to have that spoken to you while being able to interact with the instructor. And not only that, but what I really liked about it was she always related the anatomy to particular pathologies or things you might see in the clinic. So that was really, really well done. I liked the evaluation section as well. Granted, it was pretty much limited to this, but she really helped fine-tune how I might cue someone to do opposition when I'm testing that. And also in that section, she listed some things about scar healing times, wound healing, all of these things. And these are both holes in my game, so I developed a better appreciation and understanding for that. The splinting was really cool. She is a master of her craft at splint making. She's done some really cool modifications that I saw, and if I ever get to the point where maybe I'm seeing more and more people with hand complaints or post-surgical hand. It's definitely something I may consider learning from her in the future, because she's got some sauce with this hand making or this splint making stuff, fam. So those were some of the areas I liked. I also liked how she had some of the healing times, or times at which people could do things after particular surgeries, and what we're looking to expect in terms of contraindications and things that we should have these people doing throughout the rehab course, and relating that to some of the splinting that you may utilize. So I thought all that was great. What I didn't really like so much was the treatment side of things, which is kind of a big deal for something like this. And the reason why I didn't like it is because a lot of the concept seemed dated with what we know in current research. There's a lot of discussion of modality use. We kind of know where that's at from the research standpoint. I think the tendon gliding exercises and all that were great, especially incorporating wrist extension and wrist flexion, so you can incorporate the tenodesis effect. But there was also a lot of talk of myofascial release in terms of breaking up scar tissue or limiting scar tissue formation via manual interventions, which, as we know, doesn't have the best evidence. Now, with that being said, would you get something out of this course? Absolutely. I think having the anatomy review, having your evaluation concepts, and the splinting alone is probably worth the price of admission. Are you going to get a profound treatment paradigm shift by going to this class? Probably not. It's probably going to be a good reinforcement of all the classical things that we have learned in physical therapy or occupational therapy school in terms of hand function or activities you can do to improve upon hand concepts. So if you feel like you got an anatomy hole in your game, or you feel like you want to dive into splinting, you should probably check out P. Rowe's class. It's linked in the blog below, so go ahead, give it a read, check out the notes, and we'll see you for the next review. Deuces.